Have you ever been really good at what you do, like objectively good, and still felt like nobody knows you exist? Like you've built something real, something that actually works, but if you're being honest, the gap between how good you are and how visible you are is embarrassing? Yeah, I ran a 7-figure video production company for over 20 years, and almost nobody outside of my client base knew who I was. This is the story of how I'm changing that and why it matters for you too. I'm not talking about vanity metrics or chasing followers. I'm talking about the kind of invisible where you show up to a conference and nobody knows your name, where you Google yourself and there's nothing that tells your story, where you've helped other people build their brands. Literally, that's what my company does, but you never built your own. That was me. And if you're watching this, I have a feeling it might be you too. So here's what happened. I was on a mastermind call with my friend Graham Cochran, and he asked the group a simple question. He said, how many email signups are you getting per day from your lead magnets? And I remember sitting there thinking, per day? I was getting like maybe 1 or 2 a week. And Graham just looked at me and he said, oh, geez, you should be getting like 5 to 10 per day minimum. And something in my chest dropped. Not because Graham was being harsh. He wasn't. He was trying to help. But because in that moment, I realized how far behind I actually was. I had been creating content for years. I had a podcast. I would share wins like once in a while. I'd post something when I felt like it, when it was convenient, and I just assumed that if I kept doing good work, that people would find me, that they'd search for me, that they'd hear about the results that we were getting, and that they would come knocking. But that's not what happened. What happened is I built an incredible business that nobody outside of our existing circle knew about. I was the best kept secret in my own industry. And honestly, it's a terrible place to be, because being invisible doesn't just cost you followers, it costs opportunities, revenue, potential partnerships, and impact. All of the things that I wanted more of. Here's what I believed for a long time. I thought the work should speak for itself. I thought if I just kept delivering great results for my clients, if I had integrity, the right people would eventually notice. And I thought that building a personal brand was kind of self-promotional and a little bit icky. Like it was for people who cared more about attention than about doing the actual work. But here's what I know now. The work doesn't speak for itself. It can't. Your work doesn't have a voice, you do. And if you don't tell your story, nobody else is gonna tell it for you. Your story, it's not self-promotion. Your story is the strategy. And here's the thing I didn't expect. When I finally decided to start building this brand, for real this time, I started with 0. 0 YouTube subscribers, 0 people on this email list. And yeah, I do have audiences from other channels and other businesses, so it's not like I'm truly starting from scratch, but it feels like it. The numbers show that it is. I'm sending my weekly email to 62 people right now, 62, and 38 YouTube subscribers. I don't know, we're not very far along. And it feels pretty vulnerable to say out loud. I know I'm laughing, but inside I want to hide. I'm saying it because I think you need to hear it. Because I also just got a text message from a course creator that we partner with, and she literally said, "Your studio has changed my life." And we just wrapped a launch for her membership last night. we added over 200 people to her monthly membership. That's over $150,000 in annual recurring revenue. Those are life-changing numbers. And I'm the guy behind that with 62 people on his email list. You see the gap there? That gap is what being invisible looks like. It's what it feels like. You can be incredible at what you do and still be unknown. And the only way to close that gap is to start telling your story. Even when it feels too early, even when the numbers are small, even when you'd rather just keep doing the work and hoping that someone notices. So here's my question for you. What's your gap? How big is the distance between how good you are and how visible you are right now? Because if you're anything like me, if you've built something real, but you're still the best kept secret in your industry, that gap is costing you more than you think. And the fix, it's not another marketing tactic. The fix is finding your story and actually telling it. If this video hits home for you, I'd love for you to stick around. I'm building this whole thing in public. The wins, the failures, the 62 people on the email list, all of it. So subscribe if you want to follow the journey, and if you're curious about where your own gaps are, where you're actually showing up strong, and where you might be invisible, I built a free brand visibility score quiz. It takes about 2 minutes and it'll show you exactly where you stand. I'm putting the link in the description. And if you're not ready for any of that yet, that's totally fine. Just start thinking about your story, because I promise you, it matters more than you think. I'm Ryan Coral. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.